Hi there. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to A Moment in Time with Taylor. Please be sure to check out our website, femyoga.com. This channel is made possible by viewers, just like you guys, by going over to the website, clicking support, getting involved, keeping this channel going and growing. I really, really, really appreciate you. We just ran our numbers for May, and it was our lowest month since December, so it was our lowest month of 2018. I know that business is cyclical and seasonal, and things will change. Hi, Steve, first coming to the broadcast. But I definitely am appreciating everything that you guys do to make this possible. Everyone who has supported the channel over the last 30 days. We are a little over $2,000 away from our financial target. So everything you guys do really, really helps out a lot. Scott, thank you for those super hearts. They mean a lot, especially right now. Thank you. Vampire Life. Hey, Warren. Yeah, we're up late. It was a long day, lots of calls, lots of, just lots of things that happened today. A lot of things that I can't share with anyone because of the nature of, confidentiality. So I had a good day, all in all. I hope you guys did too. Feel free to share with me, how you're feeling today, how your week was, how your weekend's going to be, what you have planned for the weekend. And you can check out some of my replays right before this. I was having dinner and kind of hanging out with you guys if you want to check that out. But tonight we have about 2 hours of content left, and I literally was going to go to sleep. I was tired, and I had a lot of things happen today that left me even more tired. Hi Jenny, how are you? So I was going to go to sleep, but instead I looked at my numbers and I said, if I go to sleep, those numbers are not going to increase. And this is my business, and I'm in control of this, and the people that work for my business, they rely on me to make this happen and make this work. So I got up. I'm good, Phoenix. How are you? I am on a Malcolm Gladwell kick. I know, Miles. You feel me, Warren? I'm glad. So I got up. I got ready. It took me a little while to get ready and run all the numbers and check all the sponsorships from the last 30 days because it was just after midnight when I started working on this, and I had to reach out to people and just kind of do a lot more prep than I normally have to do because it's that time of the month, It's on to June 2nd now. Hi, Carl. How are you? I know some people are thinking about going to Chicago. You're being nosy. Hi. It's going good. I'm good. How are you, Jenny? We're going to talk about this book. I know. I've been reading a lot of Malcolm Gladwell lately, and I can talk about that in a minute when I get into the book review. But first, I want to actually timestamp this to my video editor for my YouTube channel so that we can edit this into a nice bite-sized piece. And then all this conversation that we have and chatting in the beginning will be cut off. All the hanging out and chatting at the end will be cut off if we have any of that. Hey, Asian boy, how are you today? So if everyone is done chatting and catching me up on their week and let me know how they are, I'm going to dive into the book review. Thank you so much, Carl, for the super hearts. I really appreciate that. I was just talking about how my numbers have been dipping, so I very much appreciate that. Hi, David. So let me know, you guys, too. What is it that you like to see on the channel? What is it you find value in? What helps you the most in actually reaching your goals? What goals have we helped you to reach? What goals do you have that you want to reach? And we can, come up with specific broadcasts to help you with that. We want to make sure you're getting value so that you keep contributing so that we keep the channel going. So thank you so much for everything you guys do. I'm going to jump on here. Thank you, Scott, for sharing this out on Twitter. You're washing your face on the acne. Oh, no, acne. I have acne, too. It's okay. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. Don't know the words to the rest of the song, and I love it. I don't know the words. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the positive messages on Instagram. You can say it in the comments if you're here. Okay. And I'm seeing myself dance on a delay. Thank you for the positive messages. It's me. Ah! What are you guys doing? Okay. We're sharing. Are we sharing? You guys ready? Once we press this, there's no going back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hide. The show must go on, David. The show must go on. exactly. I'm going to share this to my video editor, Mr. James, and that's going to be it. I'm going to hide the comments, and I'm going to talk about this book for however long it takes, and I really liked it, so it might be a while. My face is healthier than yours. I think it's just lighting. I have very flattering lighting in here. All right. Sing again, David. Sing what? The same song again? I'm actually going to talk about book reviews, if you don't mind. Appreciate you. I'm going to hide the chat now on Periscope and on Twitch. We are live still on both platforms, but I get really interrupted and distracted by comments, which makes it hard to follow all the stuff from the book. So this way, it makes it easy for replay viewers and people watching in the future on YouTube to absorb all the information from the book. So thanks for being here, guys. I understand if you have to come and go, and I'll be back in the next hour after I'm done talking about this book. Okay, let's get to it. I recently finished reading this book, David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell. I know, I'm on a Malcolm Gladwell kick, but I actually really liked this book, and this is the fourth book of his, I believe, that I've read. I read The Tipping Point, Blink, Outliers, and this is the fourth. There's one more book that he has called What the Dog Saw. I believe that's what it's called, and I'm going to be reading that one. I don't know if it's next, but I'll be reading that soon too. So check out my other book reviews here on my YouTube channel or on my replays on Periscope or Twitch or wherever you're watching from. And if you want to get connected everywhere so you don't miss anything, check out the website, femyoga.com. You can click contact. That has everything, Instagram, Twitter, everything that you'll need to know to stay in touch, stay connected, and learn more about these books, because I read a new book every single week, and that way you don't have to. And I'll give you little summaries and reviews as we go, as well as I email them out three times a year, every 4 months. So that's all you get from me in the email. It's really, really basic, and you can sign up for that on the website as well. It's totally free, and it'll have at least 16 books in it, because I read a new one every week. And that way you can kind of scroll through and peruse and see, and it's all in one package, so it's all there in one email, and it kind of sums up the whole year that we go through here together on Fem Yoga. And there's going to be a lot of Malcolm Gladwell on the next email. But this one was good. This one's my favorite so far. I've noticed a bit of a pattern that he's starting to grow on me, this author. So if you watch my Tipping Point review, I wasn't a big fan of his. And it's because of his style. He writes pretty much completely in stories. That's all he really does. He'll tell stories, and he'll say what that story proves. So he makes his points based almost purely off anecdotes, which are really interesting. I really do enjoy the stories, but I'm a really pragmatic, practical kind of person, and I really would just rather read the point. Just tell me what the point is. I'm going to trust that you did some research and you believe this point, and if I'm skeptical about it, I'll go and I'll look into it myself. You can have footnotes, you can have maybe some more detail somewhere else in the book, or story. When authors write, they'll kind of gray out the area where they have a story that they use to make their point. I like that better, because then you can just easily skip it and you can still read the book without the little anecdotes and kind of nice stories that prove the points. So again, he did that in this book just as much as any other. I don't know if it's my history with Christianity or what, but this book definitely was fascinating to me, the information in here. So let's dive in. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go through the table of contents, and we're going to go through chapter by chapter, and I'll give you a little summary about what the book was about. So it's called David and Goliath, Underdogs, Misfits, and the Art of Battling Giants by Malcolm Gladwell. If you're not familiar with the story of David and Goliath from the Bible, it's in both the Christian Bible and the Old Testament, as well as the Jewish Bible, which is basically just the Old Testament. And the story is about a giant of, I should probably have the country that he was representing, but there's two nations warring, and what they would do sometimes is they would have basically a single man battle. So they would pick their strongest, mightiest warrior to represent their entire army. And they would just send that one person to battle the opposing side's warrior that they nominate. And when it comes to this, it's to prevent the bloodshed. It's to prevent a ton of people from dying. So if whoever loses that one-on-one battle, that side loses and they have to surrender, basically. That way they don't have to all fight each other and have lots of loss of life. Excuse me. Let's see if there's another one coming. Maybe? I think we're good. Okay. So, thank you if you're saying bless me through the screen. I'm not religious, by the way, but I was religious in my past, so I have, I have a special interest in stories like this and kind of biblical history. So, the very beginning of the book is that story, David and Goliath. And what was interesting in this wasn't even chapter 1. This is just the introduction. I was already so hooked and fascinated. He was talking about, let me go back because I didn't actually tell the story. The story is about this, one-on-one, one-man battle between two nations. And one nation nominated this giant named Goliath. And he was 6'6", I believe, at least. And he was the mightiest warrior. He had a spear that could stab through armor, shields. He was huge, massive. He had crazy reach with his spear. He was an infantry warrior. So he talks in this book about 3 different types of warriors, and we'll get into that in just a moment. And what ended up happening is the opposing side, no one wanted to step forward. No one really felt like they could take this guy on, and no one wanted to do it. So what ended up happening was that David, who was a shepherd boy, who was good with a slingshot, he ended up going forward. He wasn't really afraid. He was like, hey, I've killed a bear. I've killed, what was the other thing? A bear and I think a lion, supposedly, with this slingshot to protect my sheep. So I'm not afraid of this dude. I can take him out too. And he went out and did take him down. And this tiny little shepherd boy took down a giant, mighty warrior with armor and shields and with a stone and a slingshot and no, armor or shields or anything on himself. So it was considered to be very surprising and unexpected that he would win. And you hear stories like this a lot all through human history. The underdog story. The story where the person you didn't think was going to win wins. Like the story of the rabbit in the hare. The rabbit in the hare. Doesn't make any sense. The turtle in the hare. Or turtle in the rabbit, since most people don't know what a hare is. So you don't think the turtle would win a race against a rabbit, but in the story, the rabbit's overly confident and the turtle just keeps going, slow and steady wins the race is the moral. So stories like that, underdog stories. And this book seeks to show how we shouldn't always see what's a perceived disadvantage as a disadvantage, and that disadvantages can actually be advantages. They can actually help us. So in the story of David and Goliath, what he finds interesting is that we're surprised that David won. Because David, unlike Goliath was in infantry. He had a spear and a sword, and he had armor that weighed, I forget, they said like 100 pounds, and a helmet, and he even had, well, let me leave this off for a moment. And what David was he was I believe they call it artillery. He's an archer, if you had bow and arrow, but he used a sling. And slingers, I guess, back in this time period were very common, and they could be considered very, very deadly, just like someone with a bow and arrow, and they're long-range fighters, so they fight from a distance. They don't come up close and stab you. They, hide behind a tree and they take you down as you come down the battlefield. And then the third type is cavalry, which uses horses or chariots, horse-drawn chariots. So those 3 types of warriors kind of balance each other. I found that to be a little bit of a stretch, but I get what he's saying, is that an infantry warrior versus an artillery warrior, the artillery person has the advantage unless you're in close range. And in the story, I'm not going to read the whole story to you, David and Goliath, you can read the Bible if you like. you Sorry, I made myself laugh. Goliath goes down into like a big field and says like, come at me, and come at me, bro. And David comes out and he doesn't have his sling out at the moment. He's just kind of walking towards them, and Goliath's like, what the heck is this? This little boy is gonna come fight me? I'm insulted, I'm mocked right now. But it turned out that he was just a slinger, so he didn't need any of the armor or anything, because he just came down from a distance, ran towards Goliath, slung, hit him in the head, and then ran over, jumped on Goliath, took his sword, and I believe cut his head off. He killed him with his own sword. A little graphic, sorry about that. But I also thought was interesting in here was that a slinger, someone with a slingshot and a stone, could kill people dead. Like, that was what they did, just from a rock to the head, because it would hit with such force that the trauma to your brain, people would die. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. If that is the case, then why did he run over and grab the sword and kill him with the sword if he was already dead? Maybe because he was so big, he wasn't sure. So that was one thing I thought was interesting, was that it actually shouldn't be considered surprising that David would win, because he was a long-range fighter, and it was a long-range battle, so he had the advantage. He wasn't at the disadvantage, even though that's kind of how we perceive it. And the other thing I thought was interesting was they have a theory that Goliath was so big and he was a giant because he had acromegaly, which is a tumor on the pituitary gland of the brain, which causes excessive growth hormone in the body. People with this condition pretty much just grow until they die. They never really stop growing, and that's what they think was happening with him and why he was so large. Now, a side effect of acromegaly is poor eyesight. You don't have very strong eyesight, and I think it potentially leads to blindness. So there's a few things in the David and Goliath story that show that Goliath may have had vision problems, and that also gave him a big disadvantage, in addition to having a condition, and that's why he was so big. Not because he worked out so much at the gym, but because he was, he had a tumor in his brain. And you can kind of see how these things that we thought were advantages become disadvantages in the story. So in this, a couple things, if you're curious, that they said kind of proved that he may have had eyesight problems. He said to David, "Why do you come at me with sticks?" But David was a shepherd and he just had one staff. He only had one, not multiple, so maybe double vision. A second one is that he had a shield. What do they call them? Shield carriers. He had one of the people who they go out in front of the warrior and they actually hold a big shield in front of them. And I guess that was actually considered very unusual, and you would only need that. Was it for cavalry? It was unusual that he would have a shield carrier, considering the type of battle it was. So they think that was actually potentially his guide, his eyes. This person was helping to guide him in the correct direction, and they just needed, they didn't want anyone to know, so this is the shield carrier. And then the third reason, I think, was, what was it? Just the fact that he said, "Come to me," that he wanted the battle to come to him on his terms, there where he could fight without having to move too much and having to see too much. And also, if he had noticed that David wasn't wearing any armor and didn't have a shield or a sword, wouldn't he have thought that this guy was probably a slinger? And when he brought the slingshot out and swung it around however many times they have to swing it before they let it loose, could he not have shielded himself better, or, done something differently, or realized what was happening before it happened? Maybe he couldn't see. Interesting theory. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It's not super practical, but again, that was my own little nerdiness. I thought that was very fascinating. So that gives you kind of the gist of the story, how disadvantages, advantages can be flipped upside down. So then chapter 1 is about this guy who I'm sure his name I'll butcher and I apologize. Vivek Ranadive. And this man was a father. He had a daughter who wanted to play basketball. And he was from France, I believe, and he came to America, and they needed a basketball coach for her team. So he decided to help them play basketball and be their coach. But he realized that their team there, he called them little blonde girls. They weren't tall, kind of scrappy individuals that were born on the basketball court and they spend every night at the courts playing until the lights turn out kind of girls. These were girls that were, maybe a little bit soft and wanted to play basketball but had really no chance of winning because they weren't really very good at basketball. But he realized that the way that basketball is played was very interesting. And he didn't understand, he, I think, still stands by this. I don't know if he's still alive, but the concept that he came up with was, he didn't come up with it, but it's something called a full court press. So when you are playing basketball, one team member is outside of the court, throws the ball into another team member on their team, and then they bring it to the other side of the court. Now, during that time, most of the time, the other team is already just kind of like moving to the other side. They don't really try to keep that initial pass from happening so much, and they don't really try to keep them from coming over the half court line. Why do I feel like I used to be a cheerleader for basketball? I don't even know the words. It's also 2 a.m. and I was gonna go to sleep instead of do this broadcast, so that I'm just gonna say that's why I'm a little tired, so bear with me. But they have a certain amount of time to get past. I think they have 5 seconds to actually make the pass, so they have to actually let go of the ball and get it into the court within 5 seconds or so, and then they have, I think, 10 seconds to get it past the half-court line. So a press means that you're trying to keep them from pulling that off. You're trying to use the timer against them rather than your basketball skill. You're trying to use technicalities on your side because you don't have height on your side, you don't have muscles on your side and grit. So you instead just are annoying. You just try to keep them from being able to do anything. And that turned out they didn't win, but they made it to like 1 game away from the national championship or something like that. I mean, they did wildly better than they should have, and it was because he didn't follow the rules. Same thing as David. He didn't say, okay, I'm gonna go strap up with armor and a sword and go fight this guy man to man the way he wants to fight. I'm at a disadvantage when it comes to that, but what I'm good at is killing people from a distance. And I don't think he wasn't a warrior. He didn't kill people. He had killed some animals because he was a shepherd and he was protecting his flock. Supposedly, if any of that ever happened, who knows? But he just basically didn't follow the rules. He made his own rules. He's like, okay, you want me to come to you? Well, I'll come to you, but first I'm gonna throw this rock at your head and knock you down, and then I'll be over in a minute. And they go into this. I'm probably getting ahead of myself a little in the book, but that in wars with 2 countries, when one country is at a disadvantage, typically due to size, they have a smaller military force, smaller population, smaller land, harder to protect, they almost always lose if they play by the rules. If they change something up and if they do something that totally, like they cheat, basically, don't play by the rules of the big guy, they actually, I think, let me look up the numbers in here, but they win a lot more often. So if they play by the rules, I think they lose, let me not guess. I'm not going to guess. I'm just going to tell you when I get to that part in the book. So it was interesting because this guy had never played basketball before, and you would think that would give him a disadvantage. But because he didn't have any preconceived notion of how the expectation of how it's normally played, he just went off of the basic facts and the rules, and it ended up being really successful. And they still to this day are surprised that people don't use full court press more often when they're the weaker team. It's almost like they don't want to acknowledge that they're the underdogs, and they think they can just hustle and just beat, this expert at their own game, basically, which is a losing battle, and you lose most of the time. I'll get you a percentage in a few minutes. Chapter 2, they talk about class size. They talk about class size and the impact that wealth has on your upbringing and on your life, basically your happiness, and how it's an inverted U curve. And in certain instances, they talk about this too with the police force. It's also an inverted U curve. Depending on how so I feel like I need two hands. Crime rates go up to a certain point, and you can, or is it it's upside down with crime. So as you put pressure and you increase the cost of crime, so if I'm gonna, do a crime and there's no penalty, well, then I'm gonna probably do it. But if I'm gonna do a crime and there is some really big, crazy penalty for doing it, like I'm gonna go to jail or I'm gonna get killed if I, look at someone the wrong way, I'm gonna try really hard not to do that. And it's the whole cost-benefit analysis thing. So what happens is they increase law and police pressure, and to a certain level that does seem to help crime to decrease, according to this. Now, I am pretty anarchist, so we'll just go with what the book was about. This is a book review. It's not necessarily what I think. But then it becomes a diminishing law of diminishing return, where it ends up actually causing a problem, and crime starts spiking up again, and it's almost like in a revolution, because when people don't feel like they can trust their government, and this is in here, I'll look up the quote, when they don't feel like they can trust their government, when it's not necessarily government, but just authority in general, whether it be government, whether it be parents, whether it be your boss, when there's someone in authority, you only obey them and kind of do the normal thing if you trust them that they're doing the right thing, that they're making the right decisions. If they are predictable, consistent, you don't want, if the person's really unpredictable, you don't trust them. And there was a third thing, and I'll again, I have to kind of look this up in the book. It was a couple days ago I finished it. But with class sizes, they noticed the same thing, that it helped increase grades to a certain point when you would decrease the class size. But after a certain point, when it got to be too small, you ended up losing that, because there's no energy in the classroom. There's no engagement. There's no kind of that little bit of like competition comparison that gets people to perform well. So it's true that a huge class is really hard because the kids get lost in it. But too small of a class isn't good either. So it's that kind of happy balance and knowing the truth behind inverted U curves, and how, okay, well, maybe there's a correlation for a certain amount of time, but how far is too far? How much is too much? How much is not enough? And kind of finding like the perfect balance of authority or parenting or class size. That was money, the same thing too. So your happiness as your money increases does go up. Actually, they say that money doesn't buy happiness. Well, there is a direct correlation between how much money you earn and how happy you are, up until about $75,000 per household, which I was surprised. I feel like that's kind of low, but okay, apparently. Anything over that amount, they show that people pretty much are the same. It'll just kind of like go back down to baseline and normal. So things that we think are advantages, we talked about this in Outliers about geniuses, how we think they would have an advantage, and it turns out, well, there's oftentimes trade-offs, and what we might think is a disadvantage actually could be an advantage to us. And I'm going to say that about 1,000,000 times, because that's pretty much what this book was about. Chapter 3, talking about, this one was interesting actually, comparing yourself to the best people. We tend to do that. So if you go to a math class, say you take like a calculus class, a challenging math course, and you're not quite getting it, you're having a hard time, and everyone around you, all the other students in the class seem to be getting it. They're like, oh yeah, yep. The teacher asks the question, all the hands go up. Everybody seems to know what's going on. You have no clue. You're like, I'm lost. What's going on here? That is actually the little fish in a big pond problem. It's what happens when people go to Harvard, and all of a sudden everyone is at their level or above, around their level or above, and they came from a school where they were the top of their class. And when you're at the top of your class and you go to some kind of smaller school or so, that's a little fish in a big pond. And that's actually where we're the happiest and where we're the most successful, is when we feel really confident and we're at the top of something that's not quite so diluted. It's a lot harder to be at the top of Harvard. It's a lot easier to be a small fish, little tiny fish in a big pond of big brains and big thinkers, and you will feel like you're not getting it and that you're dumb and there's something wrong with you. But really, you're just surrounded by greatness, and that there's certain things you're going to be good at or not good at. Excuse me. But if you actually went to a college that wasn't so rigorous of an entrance process to get into, and you were with students who might be considered more average, have average GPAs, more average entrance requirements to the school, that you'll probably stick with those courses and those classes longer because the people around you are kind of at the same pace, or you might still be outshining them because you're, smart enough to get into Harvard. So they were talking about a few different case studies like that where people went to a really prestigious school, and ended up dropping out and giving up and trying something different because they weren't getting it. And it ended up being, he asked them, well, if you had gone to this college that was smaller, what do you think would have happened? And they're like, yeah, I probably would still be in science or whatever it is. And that's why a lot of people drop out of STEM courses, because they think they should go to the best possible school they can go to. But that's, it's counterintuitive that you don't want to go to the best school you can go to. You want to go to kind of like, a few down from there, so that you're not getting the little fish in the big pond. You want big fish, little pond. All right, you got that? Good, let's move on to dyslexia. So that was part 1, which is called The Advantages of Disadvantages and the Disadvantages of Advantages. Hopefully that's the last time I say it. Part 2 is The Theory of Desirable Difficulty. Talks about dyslexia and how many wildly successful people are dyslexic. I found this really fascinating. I'm telling you, this book was really fascinating. Entrepreneurs, lawyers, successful lawyers are dyslexic. And there was one guy in here, I want to talk about him. So think of that. Law school. You know how many books and you know how much reading is involved in law school? You know how much law you have to read and to be dyslexic? So dyslexia, if you don't know what that is, it's a reading disorder, and it's actually a part of the brain in the individuals with dyslexia simply doesn't function properly. It doesn't light up. It's the neurons that were supposed to go there during being a fetus, during developing, don't make it there. They get caught up elsewhere. Sometimes there's neurons lining the ventricles of the brain, which kind of sounded really creepy and fascinating to me too. I don't know if you guys know anyone who's dyslexic. I did have one friend growing up. She was dyslexic. Perfectly normal person, totally socially normal, speaks normal, perfect English, pretty girl, well put together. Just had dyslexia, and I didn't know what that meant. It didn't affect our relationship at all. She was smart. She was in smart classes as far as I could tell. She wasn't dumb. It's not like a learning disability. I don't think. Maybe it is considered a learning disability, but some people have learning disabilities where they find it really challenging to learn or pay attention, not because they're dyslexic, but because of a different reason. Whereas with dyslexia, they could be perfectly smart. It's just that something about the words, it's not so simple that you could say, okay, well, to them these words would just be flipped backwards, or A's look like B's, or anything like that. It's really kind of interesting the way they described how it works, the way when they read words and the way their brain processes it, it just doesn't get through. And sometimes that can actually translate to the way that they listen as well. It could be hard for their brain, because that part of their brain is involved in the same idea. This actually is a little bit contradictory. I almost want to read the chapter again, because in a way he talks about how they also can hear words wrong, but then they'll maybe say them wrong, because that part of their brain, in a normal functioning healthy brain, takes, let's say, a quarter of a second to process a sound, where in a dyslexic brain that part's a little bit slower. It takes a little bit more time in that language center to kind of process what they're hearing, so they could have a hard time differentiating between certain letters that are very close in sound. And they did give an example, and I don't have it right now to think about, to tell you, and I don't want to say the wrong letters as an example, so again, I'll just kind of leave that unless I see it in the book itself. But at the same time, on the flip side, he was talking about the lawyer who got through law school mainly using like audio books and summaries, reading summaries of the laws, and he said it wasn't ideal, but at the same time it made him an essentialist. We read a book called Essentialism late last year, I believe, early this year, and it caused him to focus on the most important things, and he didn't get great grades when he graduated, but he became an amazing, one of, I think, New York's top lawyers. And what he credits it to, and a lot of people credit it to, is his ability to listen. Because he always had a hard time reading, he had to be an amazing listener. So it forced him to be good at listening. And that is what this whole part about desirable difficulty is all about how you might have a disadvantage, you might have an issue, a problem, something that's not great that you wish you could change or could be different. But what that will do is it will force you to compensate for it. And what that does is it makes you really good at other things. And I know it sucks. I know you want to be able to read. I know. I mean, we all want different things. But you're really good at something else because of that. So you could be grateful for it in that way. And let me see if I can refresh my memory by looking in the book. I don't remember offhand, so I'm going to just quickly kind of peruse through. I like how it says, you wouldn't wish dyslexia on your child, or would you? Because the chances that now, I will say that there's a high number of dyslexics in prison as well, so it's not like, it's not like the best thing ever. It's not like having an issue is automatically going to make you successful, but it's interesting how when you have adversity, when you have something bad happen to you, it forces you to learn how to be strong and be resilient and problem solve and take care of yourself, be independent. They talk about that, losing a parent. People who lose a parent at a young age oftentimes tend to be very creative people, and they think that might have something to do with dealing with that problem as they were growing up. They lost their parent, so they were forced to create. Their brain was forced to start working differently. They had to get through that somehow or another, and they end up being more creative because of it. Not that you would want that to happen, but at the same time, there can be a silver lining. Can we find the silver lining in the dark parts of our lives? And we all have different dark parts, which is cool because other people's light can kind of balance and shine into our darkness. Let's see, where are we here? Oh yeah, he was talking about, this was interesting a little bit. It's not super practical. I don't know what my takeaway from this is, but he was talking about the man Jay Freirich. I'm not sure if I'm saying the name correct, Freirich, who basically came up with chemotherapy treatments for leukemia. So he was a doctor. He got assigned to this leukemia ward. It was a certain floor of the hospital. And leukemia is childhood cancer. And back in this time, I think it was like 1955 or something, the children were basically just bleeding from every orifice everywhere. And that was a big problem. They were having a big problem. All the kids were bleeding all the time. They were dying. They were bleeding and then dying. I mean, they didn't know what to do. So this guy came up with platelet injections, because he came up with the idea that the reasons they're bleeding so much is because their bodies aren't creating enough platelets. Platelets are the clotting component of your blood. They're like blood cells, basically. You have red blood cells, white blood cells, you have platelets. And platelets help to clot. And clotting just means, like, if I get a cut, that little scab, that's my blood is clotting together. So it's not just going to keep bleeding and bleeding. There's a condition called hemophilia, which is when you have a platelet condition where you don't have enough platelets and you'll just continuously bleed. And that's basically what was happening with the children with leukemia. So he came up with the platelet treatment, which worked. It stopped the bleeding, and then they were able to actually treat the cancer, which again was a really big problem. And this was hard for me to even read, because I was just wondering, like, what would I do if I had been one of his colleagues? He also had very bad bedside manner. He was very kind of disagreeable. And he talks about how entrepreneurs are almost all disagreeable. And what that means is that you're not afraid of going against the crowd. You're not afraid of having a new idea, of doing something differently, and kind of shaking things up, being a little controversial, being a little disagreeable. And that makes me feel so much better, because I'm kind of like that. I try to find common ground. I want to understand why people think what they think. But at the same time, if it doesn't make sense to me, I have no problem saying that. And I like being an entrepreneur, so I'm glad to hear that that's a good mix of talent. They actually give you a mix of talents. So you have to be a little bit disagreeable. You have to be very conscientious. And you have to be open. I think you have to be, I can't remember if you have to be open or not open. I'm pretty sure you also have to be open to, like, new ideas, new concepts. I'll see if I can sneak into that part as well. So anyway, the chemo. So what happened back then, I believe, again, it was in the 50s, I think, he wanted to use a mixture of drugs on the cancers, because they had these different cancer medications, and they were like chemo drugs, but nobody was using them in conjunction, which is pretty much now how cancer is treated, with kind of like a cocktail of different therapies or different medicines. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know the proper terms, but I'm trying here. So at the time, it was like you would use one, or you would use the other, or you would use this. You wouldn't use all of them together, but it wasn't effective. It wasn't working. They were always having remission, where they were going back into, wait, remission mean you don't have cancer anymore? They would keep getting cancer back. The cancer would keep coming back, so they weren't getting all of it. So he thought, well, hey, what if we mix multiple different chemo drugs, and that way we'll get more of the cells, we'll kill more of the cells, and yeah, we're going to bring the patient pretty close to death, but as long as we get the numbers right, we can kill all of the cancer and not too much of the person, so that we can bring the person now back from the brink of death and back to health, just like chemo is today. The intention of chemotherapy is that. It's very, very detrimental to all the cells of your body. However, they're trying to target the cancerous cells, and then their plan of action once the cancer is gone is to, rejuvenate you back to full health. So that's basically what he came up with. But can you imagine being the person who's experimenting on that with real humans, with human children? Kids? I mean, what the heck? And the parents had to agree to let him do this stuff. I mean, it was like, reading it was just so hard. And that's what he said, is like, because this guy was just, he didn't care what people thought. He didn't care if their feelings were hurt or if they were crying or anything. He just wanted to fix the problem. he just wanted to get the work done. He had a job to do, and he wanted to get it done, and he didn't mind being a little disagreeable. He didn't mind fighting for his patients and going to bat for them, and a few of them died. But if you think about it, they all were destined to die prior to this anyway. So it was that was an interesting story to me. I didn't really know how to take it, because I think the truth is, if I had been seeing him do this, I would have been like, no, this is so wrong. We have to stop this. We have to stop him. He's killing these kids. I mean, and I still struggle with chemotherapy, like the idea of it and whether it's worth trying or not, or, does it prolong your life? Does it make the end of your life, does it kind of prolong that bad part of the end of your life? It's hard. It's hard to make decisions about stuff like this, but you gotta do what you think is right, even if the crowd isn't in on that. So I thought that was interesting. And this next part, I kind of forget some. Oh yeah, then they were talking about the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King, and how they tried to, basically, if the cops were too nice to them, they couldn't get the movement going. They couldn't get a revolution. So they actually would actively try to do peaceful protests that really triggered the police. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were trying to be annoying enough that the cops would show their hand, that they would have enough of a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Enough of a presentation, it's not the word, but enough of a gathering that they would bring media, and then also enough of a disturbance to the police that the police would use brutality against them. They actually wanted that. That's what they wanted, because if that didn't happen, the media wouldn't have been interested. There wouldn't have been any pictures. There wouldn't have been any coverage. Nothing would have changed. Segregation wouldn't have changed, and that was really interesting to me to think about it like that. Like, because you look at the pictures and their message, and it's like, oh, like, they were just sitting on the sidewalk just to, try to end segregation, which is true, but they knew that it wasn't, sitting on the sidewalk isn't going to end segregation, but getting the entire country pissed off about segregation, that might work. That might work. And that's how they did it. So that was really fascinating. I was like, ooh, that's, they were, like, excited when this kid, actually, I just saw the picture. Let me find it for you. This kid, Wyatt Walker, was that his name? Or was Wyatt Walker the guy? I think Wyatt Walker was the guy that basically helped to coordinate this picture to happen. So let me turn my autofocus on here really quick so you can see it. Here we go. Alright, so this picture here, hopefully that's clear. I don't know if it's clear, but this is the picture, so you can see the dog biting the young kid, and the kid is just kind of chilling, like really calm, really passive. And that picture, they credited that to changing a lot of the laws, a lot of the early civil rights movement they credited to that photo. And it turns out that this kid ended up, like, kicking the dog, and the police officer was trying to keep the dog from attacking him and stuff. It was basically nothing happened here. You can see all the people in the back. They're all kind of looking over it. Nobody seems concerned. The kid looks calm, because it wasn't a big deal. It really just happened to be the right photo that just happened to look like the right thing that caused them to be able to frame it the way they wanted to frame it to cause actual change. So they were lying for a good cause. Just like David and Goliath, he cheated to protect his life. Is that a good cause? I don't know. I mean, what would you do? You gonna be a martyr? You're just gonna run at Goliath with a sword and try your best, knowing the chances that you're gonna die are like 100%? I don't know. I don't think I could do it, if I'm being honest. Alright, then we get into part 3. Last part of the book, and then we'll be all done. Thanks for watching. Part 3 is called The Limits of Power. And I did a 30-day book a day challenge in 2016, I believe it was, where I read an entire book each day for 30 days. And the main takeaway from me, from all the different books that I read, all different genres, everything, power corrupts. That's what I came up with. Power corrupts. That if you put someone in power over other people and you tell them, hey, you're in charge, you could do whatever you want with these people, they abuse it. It goes to their head. They do the wrong thing. And I would love to say that, oh, but not me, not you guys, not us. We would be fine. We'd be so good. We would do the perfect, we'd make the right decision every time and always use our power responsibly and just really be perfect. But not as far as I could tell, and I think this kind of gets into that. Yeah, they talk about how things are forced on them. So this is like if you become really creative or really strong or really brave because something happened to you. So there's an effect that's kind of interesting, is when you bomb people, it's interesting what happens. So I have to sneeze again. Sorry. They think that they think it's going to be really bad, okay? And bombs are bad, don't get me wrong. But what happens is that the bomb affects everyone in that community, and it separates each person in the community into one of three groups. This is what they talk about in this book. One are the people who die from the bomb. The bomb hits them, they die. They don't survive. Maybe they're injured and then they die. They die, okay? So the people who die, as you know, rest in peace. My broadcast just crashed, so I don't know if this records all of this or not, so I'm just kind of going to keep talking, but I don't know if anyone is ever going to hear this. And if you are, hi! Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to try a little decrease in bitrate, see if that helps us to stay connected. Welcome back. Sorry, we had a little technical glitch there. I don't know why that keeps happening, but I'm learning. I learn new things every day. So, anyway, that interrupted my train of thoughts. Oh, bombs. Let's go back to this. So, when an area is bombed, the people of that area are affected in one of three ways. One, they die from the bomb. They're killed by the bomb. That is the worst thing that could happen, but at the same time, it doesn't cause panic and chaos. That's what people always think is going to happen when an area is bombed. They think chaos is going to ensue. Everyone's going to run out of their houses into the streets and just, running around. No! But that doesn't happen. That's what they do in the movies. In Hollywood, everyone just runs outside and starts partying, and they have torches and signs, and everyone, I don't want to die a virgin, and everyone's getting drunk, and everyone's like, they think the world's going to end, everyone's going crazy. Maybe. But in the real world, when they've done things where they thought everyone was going to, you think you're going to die, you think everything's over with, and people basically just acted like it's just another day, just business as usual. So you have that first group, the people that die. And even though it is very, very sad and unfortunate, and I really am very against violence, those people don't really react to the bomb because they die. So that group of people, almost in a way, doesn't affect the outcome. The second group of people is what they call near misses. A near miss might be someone who knew someone or was close to someone who passed away, or was injured in the bomb and ends up surviving. Now, those people are the ones who tend to be the most affected by it because they didn't die, so they have to live with the effects now the rest of their life. They tend to have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. They tend to have a lot of fear around maybe loud noises, explosions, certain areas, public spaces, whatever that may be. Or they're very, they're grieving, they have emotional sensitivity, whatever it may be, that's the most affected group. But the third group of people, which tends to be the vast majority of the group, are people who basically weren't they didn't know anyone who died. They weren't there. They were like down, a few blocks away. They know what happened. And what ends up happening for those people is they end up actually better off because of it. They now think they were just given a second chance on life. A bomb just hit a few blocks away. I think that's a sign. You know, that's how the human psyche works. Life is short. Those people just got blown away, life over. I need to take control of my life. I need to do what I've been needing to do. I've been wanting to go to Nicaragua. I am going. I've been meaning to tell this person that I love them. I am telling them. I've been meaning to quit my job. I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like, people, they all of a sudden, they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're bolstered up by that. They feel invincible. You know, they're like, wow, death, that near-death kind of experience, but not quite. Not too close to the point where they're really affected by it, but close enough that they are actually made more brave, more strong. And if you think of like September 11th in New York when the World Trade Center was hit in 2001, there really wasn't a big panic after that. I mean, airport security got a lot more on lockdown, but as far as the people of New York City, they didn't all just start going out into the streets and killing people, and, you know, they came together. They helped. You know, you see so many really touching photos and videos from that day and that time, and it's like, you know, people didn't go crazy and lose their cool. Some, you know, I mean, in a way, the people who were there while it was happening, you know, they're going to react how they're going to react and have trauma and stress. But the people a few blocks away, they feel like they're the luckiest people in the world right now. And that they could do anything. And that they'll probably march right down there and start pulling people out of the rubble. Because that's the kind of bravado it gives you when you get a second chance on life, basically. So I thought that was really, really interesting, too. And that's kind of my suspicion. My husband's more... I feel like he kind of is more of, like, he thinks that way, that, like, the whole world is just going to go crazy and everyone's going to be crazy. You don't want to be around too many people. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think people are really all that scary, personally. But I'm also an extrovert, so what do I know? I think this is pretty much it. I mean, he goes on and gives a lot of different examples of people who end up becoming more brave because of things that happen to them. But, they're talking too about the police pressure on the rates of crime. So we talked about a lot of this already. I pretty much covered everything in this book. It took me maybe about an hour, but thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this book review and summary of David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell. Underdogs, misfits, and the art of battling giants. So I'd say the takeaways here, the moral of the story, is that when you're at a disadvantage, when you're the underdog, change the rules. Change the way everything is done. Change the playing field. You know, get something stacked in your favor. Change it up. Do something different. Think outside the box. Be a little disagreeable. Be a little uncomfortable. Make other people a little uncomfortable. As long as there's some reason that you're doing that. And that should do it. That's my summary. That's my review. If you want to check it out on Goodreads, I am on there on Fem Yoga. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel Fem Yoga. I am on all different social media, Fem Yoga or Fem Yoga Taylor, and you can find all the links at the website. While you're there, if you'd like to support this channel, you can just click the support button, sponsor any amount that you like, and if you sign up for monthly recurring sponsorships, which means it comes out on the same day every month for any amount, the average right now person that does that's about $20 a month, then you can be entered to win $100 on June 17th, 2018. I almost said 2017. I almost just went back a year. June 17, 2018, I'm going to do a drawing for $100, and the only people that are going to be eligible to win are the people who are signed up supporting this channel every single month with the monthly recurring sponsorship, which is at femyoga.com by clicking support. Thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. This has been A Moment in Time with Taylor. Did I hold that long enough? I don't know if I did. Okay. Timestamp. Timestamp. Hi, Scott. Hi, Steve. Hi. Okay. Messaging to my video editor. If you just got here, I am live. Twitch, don't freak out. I'm live. Everybody, calm down. Hi, Sneaky. Hello. Sneaky. Should you listen to the doctor that diagnosed you clinically insane? Is clinically insane a real diagnosis? I would get a second opinion. This person wants to get timed out. I'm sending that to my video editor. I am going to reveal the comments on Periscope as well. Oops, I missed the button. Hi, Steph. Hi, Nick. All right. Yes. Let me see. Any tips for me as a power lifter and bodybuilder, and I do cardio in my job, and dealing with depressing and social anxiety disorder and PTSD of missing ex-girlfriend with suicidal tendencies with ADHD, procrastination, I feel weak and emotionally drained. Hi, Remy. Yeah, Boring Streamer, you have a lot going on there. A lot. Are you still here, or did you head out during the book review? Oh, are we even live on Twitch right now? Doesn't even look like we are. Hi, Eric. Mubar. How's everybody doing? Okay, scrolling. Historiques. Hello, Nabil. Feel comfortable in your own skin. Good night. Hi, Lars. Good morning. Good night, Asian. Hi, Mark. Thanks for the super hearts. Hey, Sonam. You're done with your scope? Chris, hi. Live for today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Ooh, earwig. Nice one. We're back, Matthew? Okay, good. Yeah, looping. I know. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for all the blessings. Hi, Vipan. El Dog Corleone, thank you so much for the super hearts. This list here, these are our sponsors from the last 30 days of this channel. This channel is viewer funded and made possible by people just like you. It sounds callous, but it's true. Essentially, you need to break some eggs, yeah, to make an omelet, right? You were watching Jim. Oh, Jim Scope from Chicago? That's good. He's so nice. I got to meet him in Chicago. As long as he didn't get sued. Hi, Lulu. How are you? I'm the smoothest person you know. Ferrari is so nice. Thank you for the super hearts, by the way. Hi, Matthew. Hi. There are different kinds of dyslexia. Ooh, Steph. Good info. Asif on Fleek. What the heck? You? Are you dyslexic? Apparently, what's the speech dyslexia? Because apparently I have that. Tom Cruise is dyslexic. Really? See, you guys? Who else? B-Boy, hey. Carla. What in the world? Hey, Trevor. Nick. Thanks for the super hearts. Who is that? The threes. Hey, look, I didn't put the heart race up, guys. Hi, Kyle. My day was good. How was yours? Boom! Trevor with the most hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Lucas. Hey, this is the person that just sent me super hearts. Hey. Who am I seeing? And Scott and Mark. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Thanks. Hi, Taylor and viewers. You're the best, Tea Party. Don't. Everyone follow this person. Nah, don't. Running out the clock. Yeah. Howdy. Hi. NSFW. Awesome. Thanks for the super hearts. Shock. Thank you for the super hearts. Oh my god, there were so many super hearts this whole time. I see Giraffe super heart. Is that you, Asif? Oh, hi, Asif. Thanks for sharing this on Twitter and inviting your followers, Trevor. I'm going to stop scrolling back because I'm getting too far behind now. But hi, Michael. Good night, Asian. Hi, Salvador. Hi, Caller. What am I talking about? Oh, Lars. Thank you for the super hearts. We were talking about this book, David and Goliath, by Malcolm Gladwell. It was okay, Kyle? Well, that's good. Are you feeling older since your birthday? Someone thought it was my birthday not too long ago. I'm still on Twitch. I think I am because Kyle's talking to me on there. Rough and ready. Hi. So, now I think I have... How much time do I have left of content? I think I still have like 50 minutes to go, and we're going to do meditation challenge day 5. Should we pick out a meditation? Let's look at it. There are lots of Davids, but not that many Goliaths. That's true, Chavez. We should have some people name their babies Goliath. Did you know I was going to say we should have some babies and name them Goliath? Like, I'm married, and I just met you, but hey, we're having babies. I am on Twitch. Yeah, I'm live on Twitch right now. I'm live on Twitch and Periscope. So, let's look at our meditation book. Pick out a good one. Reflection on Interdependence. I love it. We're going to do that one. And we're going to put this book on the shelf. Where, though? How about back here? Actually, I feel like I should put it with the other ones. Why are they all down here? It doesn't make sense. Sorry, I'm going to move them. Goliath can be easily taken down with a well-aimed AR-15 or a well-aimed slingshot, which I actually have a slingshot. Nature Scoper, thank you for the super heart. Oh my god, what the heck? How many super hearts did we have before that? Whoa, Asif! What the heck? Thank you for the super hearts, Asif, in the future or the past or wherever you are right now. Alright, good night, good night, good night, good night. Oh my god. Thank you so much, you guys. You guys are awesome. I'm like, I look up, I see 500,000 super hearts. I'm like, what? I was saying thank you to everyone, but I didn't even realize how many we had. You guys are the best. What would I do without you guys? I would have to have some crappy job that I wouldn't even like. No, I don't actually like working, so if I had to work for someone else, I guess I would. But you guys are making it so I don't have to, so thank you so much. You're amazing. You're amazing. Amazing. All right, so we picked that out. We're going to do a reflection on interdependence meditation. That is cool. It is. Yes. I mean, these are the people that are the reason that we're here right now talking about this stuff. I really enjoyed that book. I thought it was cool. I think I identify with David a little bit because I'm small myself. I'm about 5'1" and 90 pounds. So the idea of being the underdog and being kind of disadvantaged, it resonates with me. And now I realize that really he had the advantage. Everything was in his favor. And that's even more like energizing and motivating because it's hard to see that when you're in the moment. You're like, that guy's huge, and I know that I have the advantage, but, like, he's huge, you know? Like, it sounds good in my head, but at the same time, the reality is the reality. The feelings are the feelings. The adrenaline is the adrenaline, you know? And it can be hard to remember that we can have, what did they call it? Desirable disadvantages or desirable difficulties. Hi, Ihab, how are you? Over on Twitch. I feel bad that I didn't, like, even see Asif in here. This is why I hide the chat, because that would have totally sidetracked me. Should we shoot off the cash cannons? I think we should. I think we should. Asif would be so sad if we did not shoot off these cash cannons. We replaced one of the batteries in one of these cash cannons, so they are fresh to death. You might want to turn your volume down. Turn your volume down. This is your chance, because these things are loud. Are you guys ready for this? I don't think you're ready for this. Thank you for the super hearts. Ah! Why is that so calming to me? Like, I get like this, like, it's a meditation. Cash cannon meditation. That's what we have to do on one of these meditation challenge days. Meditation on cash cannons. Oh my god. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Love, 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 love. Yes. Lars, have you ever seen the cash cannon before? Lars sent me a nice message earlier on Twitter. That was cool. A little video message since you were driving. All right, now we clean up the cash. Clean up the cash. I mean, if you guys want, we could just do this for the next, like, how much time am I going to need to do meditation? We could probably go like 15 more minutes, which would put us at what? Yeah, a little less than an hour and a half. Where'd I find the cannons? Actually, they were got for me from a sponsor. So I actually put items on my Amazon wish list, and if you guys want to buy them stuff for me, this was some of the things. I got all the things. You want one, Lars? They're called cash cannons. you can go to thecashcannon.com. I got them on Amazon. I didn't get them. My lovely supporter got them. They're awesome. They're very popular. You'd love to pay in a store with them. Lars, that's what everyone says. I usually get that, or, you know, that it's like you want to bring it to a strip club. No judgment. No judgment. Those girls are working hard. If you want to spend your money on that, great. Great. What do you think is the most money ever made by a stripper in one night? How would we even find that out? You know these strippers aren't reporting their income on their taxes, let's be honest, guys. Come on. Come on, what kind of stripper is reporting all the money she makes so that she can pay income tax on it? Come on, strippers. Come on, what are you doing? Steven, thanks for inviting your followers and sharing this out on Twitter. Oh my god, did you timestamp that? You know I'm talking about strippers while I pick up cash off the floor. It's not going to come out right. Lars says that he wouldn't. You wouldn't report it if you were a stripper? Lars! Oh, I was going to troll K&M. Is K&M in here? I was going to troll him about being a stripper because he's a firefighter. But his picture is like a oiled up, muscle, like, no shirt picture. And I was going to be like, wait, are you a real firefighter or are you a stripper? Oh, God, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. It's because I was talking about climbing up the pole earlier. And I was like, wait, is that something a stripper would say? And then he was talking about how it's kind of hard to climb up the pole. And I was thinking, that sounds like something a stripper would say. Alright, you guys think we have all the money? Should we count it? Should we count it? You're suitable as a stripper, Lars? Well, hey, I mean, you know, what are your strengths? You gotta take the Strengths Finder test. You're not? He said not! I'm not, I mean! He means he's not suitable as a stripper, but it came out the complete opposite of that, which is way more hilarious. Fake cash? Is it fake cash? I don't know, they take it at the stores. Okay, there's half. Okay, you have a great day too, Lars. Thanks for the super hearts, man. There we go. We got all the monies. Good stuff. Loving it. Loving it. Can we just repeat that? Okay, so there's my leg. You hear it just peel off? Listen to this one. Ready? Well, it's a little squeaky. I'm like stuck to it. Magic Man, thank you for the super hearts. You're awesome. You're all awesome. And you all deserve the cash cannons. Oh wait, I almost just shot them off and forgot they didn't have any money in them yet. Guys, what are we doing? These late night broadcasts, I'm telling you. Late night party animals. Cash cannon addiction. Don't worry, I have it too. We all need to go to Cash Cannons Anonymous, which used to be the name of my group on Twitter. On Periscope. I don't know who named it that. I thought it was Dan. He denied it. Must have been Asif. Not sure. Not sure. Last chance to turn your volume down. 3, 2, 1. Magic Man, thank you for the super hearts. Everyone else, thank you! Yes! We just hit 36 million super hearts just yesterday on Thursday night. So we're really excited. We still want to be number 1 one day. You know, right now we're like number 4. But it's okay. I know we can get there. I know we're going to make it happen. We're just going to keep showing up, keep hanging out, keep being live, keep learning together, keep reading books, keep meditating, keep doing yoga, keep bringing on guests, keep talking about what's going on in the world. We're going to get there. We're going to be number one. Yahoo! Yes! All right. What do I want to do with the cash cannons? Just put them over there? Okay. Is this the laziest possible way to pick up the cash? Just lean? I'll just lean to one side. I can lean over to this side to get some more cash. Could you imagine if that's all you had to do to get money? Just like lean over and pick some up off the floor. Just like some would just fly into the window. Burn the money? What? Burn it? Why? Then we wouldn't be able to shoot out the guns. That wouldn't be fun at all. It would only be fun for like 2 seconds, and then what would we do? We'd have no money left. It would be fun, like for those first few minutes until the cop showed up and arrested me for burning money live on Periscope. Awesome, Lorenzo! How are ya? How is everybody feeling this lovely Friday nights? I'm feeling hungry, I'll tell you that much. Tronum! Yes! Well, I haven't seen this bottom shelf pineapple in a while. Oh, I can't reach. I can't reach. Am I showing my butt right now? Oh god, guys. Guys, it's too late. I can't think about things. What's happening? We have to get you a grabber that older people need to pick some up on the floor. Yes! Oh my god, that's so true. I used to sell those. Those are called reachers. They come in 26-inch or 32-inch. There's other sizes too. There's all sorts of different ones. They usually have a little magnet on the end with a little hook so that you can use it to like pull up your pants, like hook onto your belt loops. Thank you, Tronum. Oh, excuse me, I just burped myself. Bruh. What up, Hector? His burrs? Hulsburrs? Good morning, hi. That's a lot of inches? Whoa, that's definitely what she said. That is definitely what she said. Wait, what was I talking about inches? Oh, the reacher. Yeah, that's too many inches. If you got a 32-inch thing going on, you need to get a reduction surgery. Do they have that? Do they have male reduction surgery? I mean, I know they have, like, transgender surgery, but can they just make it a little smaller? Has any man in the world ever wanted reduction surgery? Anyone in the comments had a male reduction surgery in the past and wanted to share your experiences? Don't lie. Guys, I know you're all going to say, oh, you need a reduction. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Hi, Oliver Close Off. What's up? Hey, I said it out loud. No! You made me say it. Oliver, what the hell, man? Oliver, go to femyoga.com, sponsor the channel, because that was just wrong. The force is strong with this one. You know what else is strong? The hunger. I'm getting hangry. I'm not really hangry. I have nothing to be angry about. Hi, Trevor. How are you? I have the comments showing now. This topic is so weird. I like it. Wait, what topic? We already did the book review, by the way. I know! Trevor, yes! Hunger Games. Oh my god. Tronum said, let's play Hunger Games. Let's play Hunger Games. Oh, what? Hunger Games. I think I need competitors. Who am I playing Hunger Games against? Myself? Let's play Hunger Games. I can't. You're hungry as well, Hector? Don't cry, Hector. It's okay. Hector, I have pasta. You know I'm going to make some pasta for myself. You can come over and have some if you want. I also have this old rotten pineapple if you want some. That's not even true. That's got to be a record. Trevor, are you new, man? Trevor. Seriously, man? Seriously with that comment? Trevor, are you drunk? Trevor, what's happening? Trevor? Pasta sounds like a plan. Okay, it's gonna be organic pasta, spaghettini, the tiny angel hair pasta, with butter, grass-fed organic butter. I'm new, who dis? and a mixture of Parmesan and Romano cheese. Where are all the trolls at? Right here. Thanks for the super hearts. One bill tried to go into my mouth. The other one hit me directly in the tendon, which actually hurt. What the hell? How could a dollar bill hurt me? Men reduction surgeries. Do women actually want something like this? The answer to that question is no. We do not. I'm sure your food tastes scrumptious. Dope. Yes! Woody Wooder, what's up? It's 2:45 a.m. I'm a bit groggy. Yeah, I'm a bit groggy too. So, our biggest Super Heart broadcast, I actually don't remember if we hit 2 million before. I'm such a bad person. But we've definitely hit 1 million a couple times. We actually hit 1 million Super Hearts sometime right before the end of May, which is good because I think we might, because of that, we might actually have hit the 3 million Super Heart bonus in May. I'm not sure. We obviously hit the 1 million though, so that's good. Like in March, we definitely did not hit, or March, we didn't, and April, I think both, we did not hit our 3 million Super Heart broadcast, or Super Heart bonus. But it's okay, because you guys are supporting on the website, right? And that helps. Alright, I'm going to pick up the money. I don't think I'm going to shoot it off again, because this is the end. This is the end. You came just in time for cash cannons. I'm glad, because I'm not going to shoot them off again. I'm going to clean up the money, and then I'm going to come back to meditate. And then I'm going to eat so much pasta after this that I don't know when I'm going to sleep. I don't know when I'm going to sleep. When am I going to do all the things that I want to do? I don't understand. I need a clone. Does anyone have, you will make me? You will make me what now? You will make me, what? Pasta? You're going to make me pasta? That's so nice, Tron. You know, I can't wait till you come to America. We spend all the time together, and we do all the VidCon things, and we do all the Twitter things, and we do all the New York things. I'm not doing the Chicago things. You guys are on your own. Swimmer, hello. Tronum. My stomach. You're revealing your surprise for Ray Herring today? Today? Like Saturday today? Or like right now? Because today is almost over. Today's gone. It's barely even today on the West Coast anymore. We're doing lazy money picking up today. Trying to figure out how much money can we pick up from our chair. Turns out it's quite a bit. Quite a bit. Saturday today. Okay. Hi, Flipper. So on your channel, you're going live? You can tell me. Do you want to tell me more about that? You like the money thing? Thanks, Wood. I do too. I do too, my friend. I'm so hungry. Like every time I hunch forward, it squeezes my stomach and I go, I'm hungry. It won't be a public broadcast though? Oh, only to Ray? Or am I going to be in on it? I want to be in on it. What the heck? I want secrets. Give me the secrets. What the heck? Why are you going to tell me about secrets and then not even let me in on the secret? You're like, I have a secret, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm like, what? Trevor, what the hell? Trevor, tell us what the surprise is. We won't tell her. We won't tell her. We're not going to tell her. Come on, just tell us. Guys, nobody tell anyone. Nobody tell Ray Herring what Trevor's about to say. Do not timestamp this and tag Ray Herring in it. Because that would defeat the surprise. And I would never want to defeat the surprise. Only for myself. Because it's not my surprise. Guys, I'm going to hit my head on the ceiling. Okay. Stop talking. Guys, I'm talking to you, but you can't talk back to me yet because I can't see your comments. Now I'm missing them all. He said do not say anything. Wait, did he say what it is? I'll invite you to the scope. Okay, okay. That's the worst. Wait, what's the worst? Tronum, get your lead lipstick kisses out of here. Unless it's 24 hours, it's not going to wipe off. Stop. We have to end this. This is over. I'm putting my foot down, and I'm putting it right into a squishy, nasty pineapple. And now I gotta go clean my foot off so we can come back and meditate and calm down. Why do I get so triggered by this? Oh my goodness. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. I did something earlier while you were reviewing. What did you do? What'd you do, Trevor? It's like when you ask your dog, what'd you do? What'd you do? And the dog's like, and goes into its little crate. Do you guys see what's happening right now? This is called super heart trolling. Oh, good. Good. We got the last Asif in the house because, you know, that's all we need. We're not trying to end this broadcast or do, you know, meditation. Why is it always the meditations that you guys don't? You guys don't like meditations? You're like, no. No meditations, just cash cannons, please. That's all we want. You see a little more behind me? In the chair? It's okay, we'll get it on the next one. You're here for cash cannons. Oh, you and everybody else, and their moms. Well, I guess there's only 20 people, but still. Without Asif, you would be a queen. Pretty funny dog impersonation. Thanks. I'm really, really great at impersonating things. Thank you for the super hearts. Tronum, Magic Man. That's the only people I can see on this tiny screen right now. I know that Asif on Fleek sent a bunch of them, and I know that... I don't actually know. I'm cheating. I'm cheating. Tony and L-Dog and Scott and Shock and Ferrari and Lars and Kieran and Carl and Mark all sent super hearts to you guys. Thank you so much. Turn your volume down. 3, 2, 1. Ah! Yes! Okay. What is this? Like a drug. I think it might also be the sleep deprivation, the hunger, the low blood sugar. I might be dying. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe my brain is releasing dimethyltryptamine into itself as we speak because it thinks that I'm dead. That's just how angrily can I pick up money from the floor. Just stacking my bills. Not liking it. You're welcome, Asif. Anything to brighten up your day as much as you just brightened up mine. I didn't even know that happened. I don't know if that you were trying to troll me or what, but I had the chat hidden, and I'm like, la la, and then I come back and I didn't check the number of super hearts, so I'm just saying, you know, thank you to everyone that sent super hearts, like, as I'm scrolling through the chat, like, oh, thanks for super hearts, thanks for super hearts, thanks for... And then nature starts sending super hearts, and I see 500,000, I'm like, wait, what just happened? 500,000? Sure enough, Asif on Fleek struck us again. Asif, do you see the new technique for picking up the money? It's much more effective. It involves not getting off your butt at all. I do pay attention to you. Asif, we had like a 2-hour phone call today. Lucky hubby. Well, thank you, Hector. I think I'm the lucky one. Okay. Oh. What? Why isn't moderation working again? You have one more day of life. Let's party. I still have to do stupid meditation, you people! Don't wake up my husband. My husband's awake. It's only 3 a.m. He's awake. It didn't work. I know. I was like, oh god, is Asif ever going to talk to me again? I'm glad that you sent super hearts. Are you trying to use super hearts to get me to say yes? Alexis, hi! Wait, what was you? The money under my butt? Squished all up in there. It's your weekend. Happy birthday. Everyone say happy birthday, Katie. Oh, Katie. Katie, where were you earlier? Is it working? Wait, is what working? No, it's not working. Is it working? No, it's not working. It was going to be, you know how many super hearts it would be to make it work? Like, so many that you would break all of Periscope. Oh, Alexis, stop! Asif, did you bring the minions? What's happening right now? Oh my gosh. I can't. I hate you too, Katie, with a lot of love. See, look, Hector said happy birthday. And so did Asif. I don't see anybody else because apparently people don't understand what I said. No one's going to say happy birthday to Katie. She's in here right now. What the heck? Play some yellow card. Only one. You're a punk. I don't have the rights to that music, unfortunately. But thank you for being here and supporting us with your awesome comments. We like that. We like to hear from you. And we like to pick up money off the floor as well and shoot it all over again because that makes perfect sense. It's completely efficient. You still have a day. It's not here. Oh, yeah, she's mad. She's mad that we're wishing her happy birthday because it's not happy birthday yet. And it might not be a happy birthday. It might be a miserable birthday. Because Katie thinks that when you turn 25, your life ends. One more day of young life left. Going to Chicago, 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 Chicago. We go to Chicago. No, we don't go. What the heck? Why are you making me say things? You go to Chicago. You Chicago. I Chica stay. Because it does. Can everyone over the age of 25 please tell Katie that your life did not end on that day? Alexis, stop. No, I'm not coming. Stop. Why? How many hours of my night will be spent saying no to Chicago? Did your life end when you turned 25? Yeah, it did, though, actually. But don't tell Katie. I'm just kidding. No, my life didn't freaking end. You don't qualify, Hector. You're too young, you baby. You swear on your life. Alexis, don't swear on your life. I like your life. And I don't like swearing because I would never swear because I'm a perfect angel. And, you know, I don't understand perverts like you. What am I saying? We need to meditate and go to bed. I am putting the cash cannons away now. I am putting my foot down. I'm putting my cannon down. And I have to pee. Provocative text messages. What? Guys, don't tell my secrets. You stop that. You stop that. You are perverts. You're both perverts. And all of a sudden I have to pee really bad. What's happening? It's because I'm trying to avoid this whole conversation. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this book review of David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell. Feel free to check out the replay if you got here a little bit late. And thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to check out the website femyoga.com. This channel is made possible by viewers just like you guys, just like Brad, Asif, Tronum, Tony, L-Dog, Scott, G, Ferrari, Lars, Kieran, Carl. Oh, and my broadcast just crashed. I mean, not my broadcast, but my Periscope app, so I can't even see your comments. But remember, if you sign up for monthly recurring sponsorships at the website by going to femyoga.com and clicking support, you will be entered to win $100 on June 17th. And I'll be back in just a few minutes to go over some meditation with you. This has been A Moment in Time with Taylor. Thanks so much for watching. See you on the next one. Bye. This is the potty dance. What am I going to do? How am I going to end the broadcast? I don't even know. I just know that I'm about to pee my pants. What's happening? What's happening?